Hi guys, welcome to Leo's Playground. This is Mare, and I am here to take a quick break with you to talk about Walt Disney World's rock and roller coaster starring Aerosmith. It's an enclosed launch coaster, which is located at Walt Disney World Hollywood Studios. It opens to the public on July 29th, 1999. Now, this roller coaster is a launch coaster. It propels riders from 0 to 57 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds. Riders are going to experience up to 5 Gs while they're on the coaster because of the 3 inversions, including a sea serpent roll and a corkscrew. So if you're looking for the rock and roller coaster, it's located on Sunset Boulevard, which is across from the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. You're going to walk under an upside-down limo car on the track. That's going to be your first introduction to the ride and build up some of that anticipation of what you're going to expect. So you look up, you're going to see that car upside down on the tracks. And you're going to see a 40-foot tall Stratocaster guitar. Now this is a huge Kodak spot for people to, especially first-timers, first-time visitors, but even people who've been there a long time or who've been there many times. The Stratocaster is a Kodak photo spot. I'm dating myself. For you kids out there these days, it's an Instagrammable spot. Okay, you're going to want to get your photo taken with the giant Stratocaster guitar. So, let's get into the actual ride. The ride is kind of short. It is only 1 minute and 22 seconds long. There are 6 cars, which hold 2 riders across. It can take 24 riders per train, 1,800 riders per hour. So it takes a decent amount of riders on each hour. Each train has a total of 120 speakers, which makes a cool ride experience. There are 5 speakers surrounding each rider. So no, unless your speakers are broken, which I've never experienced that on this particular ride, but you're going to have a pretty cool ride experience because you have that Aerosmith music pumping into your car throughout the ride. So when you get into the queue of this ride, you're going to go in through a fictional record label called G-Force Records. Pretty fitting since you feel up to 5 Gs on this ride. So that's where we get the fictional G-Force Records. So guests are asked to stand and wait outside of the doors of Studio C. As the doors open, Studio C, Aerosmith, they're working on an instrumental version of Walk This Way with one of their sound engineers. The band greets the guest, and here comes a manager. She walks in and interrupts. "Guys, you're running late. We have to go." But of course, Steven Tyler, being the great guy that he is, says, "Wait a minute. We can't leave all these people behind." And of course, the manager's like, "Well, what do you want me to do? Take them with me? Take them with you?" And of course, Steven Tyler says, "Wait a minute. I love that idea. How about some backstage passes?" And the rest is history. We get our super stretch fast car to take us to the show, so we're not going to be late. All right. So once we're on that ride vehicle, once you get in, you walk into the loading area. Of course, Walk This Way, fittingly, starts playing again. So you walk through, exit the pre-show and go into the loading area where you're in an underground garage type area. This is where you can see the cars just launch out of there. Okay. And it's going to build that anticipation for sure. Once you're on the ride in your limo, in your super stretch limo, you're going to hear Bill St. James with LA's classic rock station. He does a little bit of a short commentary, traffic reports. You got to know what's going on. Why, we got to hit it. we're trying to get to this show. We got to know the traffic report. So once we launch, we're going through a long tunnel. How could I forget? Hold on. Back up. Hold on. Before we launch, we hear Steven Tyler counting our launch down from 5 to 1. How could I forget? So, and thank goodness for me personally, thank goodness for the countdown, because I hate the launch personally. All right. So after you hear the countdown, you go through a long straightaway, a tunnel, and that's where your ride photo is taken. You'll see the flashes. Your ride photo is taken right there. What better point to take the ride photo than when you're like coming right off a launch, during the launch? I think the first several photos I've taken on this, I'm pretty sure you could see my tonsils, even though I've had them taken out. So I've gotten much better with my ride photo, but it captures that like initial rush. So after this long straightaway, we're going to go into the sea serpent roll. It's a 2 inversion element. We have all of the neon signs that are designated to mimic the road signs in Hollywood. Now, then we're going to go over some less intense overbanked turns. And then we hit our 3rd and final inversion, which is a corkscrew. Your limo is going to proceed to the VIP backstage area, where guests are going to exit through red carpet toward the on-ride photos and the gift shop. If you have your magic band, you can just tap your magic band there, and your photo will go right onto your magic band. Usually, right now, it goes on automatically. I believe you don't even have to tap anymore. The cool thing, one of the cool features about this ride is the soundtrack that you get depends on the license plate that's on your limo car. I know, me personally, I've never been able to see the actual license plates. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to see them. I haven't figured it out, nor have I really tried. But I know I've had a few different soundtracks. I don't think I've had all of them, but I've definitely had a few different soundtracks on this ride. So let me see. It's currently, we're in the middle of April 2023 right now. So middle of April, going to the end of April. It's April 17th at the time of this recording. And the ride is currently closed for a refurb. There have been speculations of a change of theming, different bands, different characters, but nothing is, as far as I understand, nothing is reportedly changing. Nothing is expected to change on the ride. We're still going to have Aerosmith, although at one point a few years ago, the pre-show was changed to omit a hand gesture of Steven Tyler that could have been problematic, I suppose. As far as my experience on this ride, once upon a time I was not a thrill rider, and I was pretty much dragged onto it by a family member. I did not want to go. I was terrified, but I loved it. I loved it, and it is one of my favorite rides now in Disney World. I have had some different ride experiences depending on where I'm sitting, but to be honest, I couldn't really tell you what seats give me the different experience. And I'm talking about the bumpiness of the ride. So I've been in seats where you do have head cushions on the ride. So I've been in cars where my head is bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and I've come off with a headache. But I've also been in cars where the ride was super smooth and awesome. When it's bumpy, it's a little, when your head is bashing back and forth a little bit, it's kind of a bummer. But for me personally, I'm willing to go through the head bouncing because it's just that much of an enjoyable ride. I wish it was longer. It's only 1 minute, 22 seconds. I will say I get nervous every time I go into that loading area. When I see the cars launching off, the limos launching off every single time, even though I know I love the ride, it gets me. It gets those butterflies going in my stomach, but that's the purpose of it. It's doing its job, right? So my husband Leo recently got over a fear of heights, fear of falling, and it's awesome because he can go on rides now that he never went on before. So he wanted to try the rock and roller coaster as his, like, he's been on other coasters, but never an upside down coaster. This would be his first inversion coaster. I think it's safe to say he was a bit apprehensive, but he went on it and immediately wanted to go on again. So even for myself included, I was afraid of it to begin with. Even for people who are afraid, I think it's worth a try. If you don't like it, it's only 1:22 long. You're out of it before you know it. And that's the truth. So if you've never been on it before, I hope this gives you a little insight as to whether or not you might want to try it. If you try it and you don't like it, I'm sorry. But I hope you will like it if you haven't been on it before. But I find it enjoyable. If you found this video enjoyable, please make sure you give us a like. It helps us to, get our content to more people. Consider subscribing because we're going to be doing more. Myself, my husband Leo, we're going to be doing more content about the theme parks, attractions, restaurants, etc. And if you've been on the rock and roller coaster, let me know in the comments what you think about it. Is it your favorite? Is it a one and done? Let me know. And let us know what else you want us to review. So thanks for joining me for this quick break, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.